Welcome back to Vlogmas 2020, where I am vlogging every day in December leading up to Christmas. Today is part 2 of the introduction of the boys in my herd. So for a few days now, I have been introducing you to each member of the herd, all the alpacas and all the llamas, in the order in which they became part of our family. Today is the last of the boys, and so you're going to meet the ones that are a little more newer to the family that have come in more recent years. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first couple of guys actually don't belong to me. They belong to another farm in Nebraska. They are two Surreys who were brought here to be bred to my Surrey girls, and we have yet to swap them back because that farm also has one of mine. Thor, for those of you who've been with me for a few years, you might remember Thor. So one of these days Thor will be back, and then these two guys will be back at their home. So let me introduce you to them. This white one in front is one of them. His name is Navarro. He is a Surrey. And these two guys, the other one behind him is Navarro. Those are the two that came together. And Navarro is the one that I used to breed. Because of his color, I bred him to Fanny. And they're very sweet guys. You can tell they're kind of smaller stature, but that's just genetics. They produce some very, very nice fiber, and they come from a farm that specialized in Surrey alpacas. Yesterday I mentioned that I have a group of boys here. This whole group that we're in is a total of 19 alpacas and llamas. But within this, there's a group of about 4 of them that are the drama makers and drama partakers. That whenever there's drama, there's kerfuffle, there's chasing, there's all this, that kind of thing. These guys always get in on it. If they don't start it, they will get in on it. And Navarro is one of them. Despite his size, he is the smallest of all of the animals here. He is full grown. As you can see, he is smaller than the rest. And he gets in on there with the orgling and the chasing and all the stuff. He's a sweetheart though. He's easy to handle. As I mentioned with him and Butte, who is right here chomping away. But it's been nice having them here as a part of the herd, but I know they won't be here for much longer. If you watched my Meet the Girls videos, it would be part 2. I talked about a group of girls, a group of 10 that I acquired last year from a couple that were retiring from alpacas. I said I got 5 girls who you met and 5 boys. Well, this group that we're at right now, the black one here is Orpheus, and he is the last one in this group of them. I'm trying to get his attention. Orpheus, show us your face, bud. Show us your face. He says, no, I'm going to move instead. I'm going to move away. Thank you. I just want to show you. I want to show you off. Yes. And he's a boy's boy. He gets on it. He's not super friendly, but he'll allow you to touch him. Like I touched his back and he didn't run or flinch or anything. He's like, whatever. He does his own thing. He lives his own little world. Sometimes he gets in on the drama and sometimes he doesn't. But he is playful. He has his friends here who he plays with. And the boys in this group have a massive pasture that they can just run around and have fun. And it works out pretty well when all the drama happens. My males are much more entertaining than my females because they have these hormones in which it causes them to behave in more dramatic ways. And even if girls are not around or not, there's just these instincts in them that they roughhouse, they play, which turns into fighting. It escalates into fighting very easily. And so oftentimes they are just more entertaining than my girls. And Orpheus sometimes is in on that and sometimes he's not and just kind of sticks to his own little thing. But he has made some nice friends here. It has been over a year since he's been here now, and he's settled in, and I think he likes it here now. So the next group of boys I'm going to talk about also came last year, and also from a farm in Nebraska. So this would be from a farm that's semi-retired, and she gave me 4 boys, all white. It was 3 Surreys and 1 Wakaya. And the Wakaya is standing right here in front, and his name is Epic. Yes, he knows I'm talking about him. He knows I'm looking at him, and he's not too keen on it. He's a nice boy. He, will lead on a halter. He'll let me touch him. It took him a while to kind of warm up to this place and to me specifically, but he's a very nice boy with some very nice fiber, and I totally forget how old he is. He's not super young, Let's say he's middle-aged for an alpaca, but I expect that he will be around for a while. So of the 3 Surrey boys, I still have 2. One of them did pass away not too long after coming here. And to be honest, I kind of mix up these 2 boys. So I think this guy here is Chobani. And Chobani is the son of Epic. Chobani is the result of a Wakaya and a Surrey breeding. So at the previous farm, the lady there is a breeding farm. She's very knowledgeable about breeding, and she did shows with the ribbons and all the stuff. She produced very nice animals, and so I always appreciated getting animals from her because I knew the fiber was awesome. And so she did this experiment of breeding a Wakaya and a Surrey together just to see what she would get, and she got a Surrey. But he's still a very nice boy, still a nice handle and all that stuff. Very nice demeanor. He does get in on all the play fun. He's not one of those that gets in on all the drama right away, but he can. he can participate. He will participate at sometimes. But for the most part, he sticks with his friends, and so many of these boys are just so well natured. I'm actually very, very blessed to have the herd that I do. And this boy here is the other white Surrey that came in that group. He's a little bit bigger than Chobani, but he's also definitely one of the boys that gets in on the drama. Okay, so oftentimes he instigates the drama. Yes, so if he was standing, you'd see he's a little bit bigger than Chobani. And he also has a smoother looking face. So Lori, if I mix these 2 up, please let me know. But I think that's what it is, that this is Kincaid. And Kincaid won, he did win a ribbon at our state fair a couple of years ago. This year in 2020, we did not have an alpaca llama show, so no one got any ribbons. But the previous year in 2019, he took, I believe it was Best of Show. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to working with his fiber more. And I suppose if I was breeding, I definitely would consider him. So the other day you met my female llamas, Molly and Jessica. I got Billy at the same time as them, so he also came from Wyoming. And I originally picked him up for another alpaca farm in Nebraska, but they've never came and got him. So he is just here. And in this group, he is one of the 5 llamas that I now have. And it's interesting to see the dynamic of how the llamas work together. So of course we have the 3 brothers, Roman, Gus, and Oliver. And then we have Vinny, who is Oliver's dad, and then Billy. And Billy, it took him a little while to settle in, that's for sure, and to make friends. But it's been over a year. He's totally settled in now. It's probably been about a year and a half, actually. And it takes, I've read, it takes about a year for an alpaca or llama to really settle in and feel comfortable in their new home. You know, I often get the question or see the question of people asking how long it takes for animals to warm up. For camelids, a long time. You need to be very patient, and you need to be very just kind of consistent and careful on how you touch, how you treat them, how you introduce yourself to them, because they remember, you know. So with Billy, he's again an animal that I have no knowledge about. I in this moment, I don't even remember the lady that I got him from, what she said. And he wasn't at her place for very long either. Yeah, I don't really remember. But he is kind of standoffish. I don't think he's been handled much in his life. And if he has, it hasn't been good. As you can tell, it's been a long time since he was shorn. All of that lighter colored stuff on him is matted. You can tell he's white, and he is about a medium fawn. And he's what we call a classic llama, which Roman and Gus are as well. Actually, Jessica and Molly as well. They're all classic llamas, and it has to do with a fiber type or fiber style. So a classic llama has a dual coat. They have a softer undercoat, and they have longer, coarser outer coat. So to look at him, you can see that there's parts that stick out that are long and stringy. That's going to be the outer coat. The inner coat on Billy naturally, what do they call that when it just falls out? The word is escaping me. Like maybe molting. I don't know. He naturally loses that undercoat. And alpacas and llamas are from South America, where their springtime happens in my fall time. You know, so that means in my fall, I should say, I don't know where you're at, but in my fall, he is starting to shed, there's a word, to shed that underlayer. And I could brush it out of him. I could, just pull it out with my hands. But I actually want him to keep that for the winter to keep him warm. So I leave it on there and hope that it doesn't fall out because he needs it for the cold. Well, as a result, it all gets matted. So come springtime, he is a matted mess. And next year, he is going to get shorn because he is due. He's due for a haircut. And the final alpaca, or final member of this herd group, is Star. He is this nice, like medium silver gray with the white face. If you watched yesterday's video, he was the one that was humming a lot in the background because he was complaining that I had not given him alfalfa yet. Well, now it's been a while since I'm walking around filming these videos that they're like, okay, maybe she's not going to give it to us. And they've kind of settled into just eating the hay. So he's a lot quieter now, stuff in his face. But Star came at the end of last summer in 2019, along with Sasha and Lexi and Alex. Now, I haven't introduced Alex to you because he died last year, unfortunately. That was a sad situation. You know what? I talked about it in Vlogmas 2019, so that was sad. But Star was a part of that group, and it was Lexi, Sasha, and Star who had not been shorn in 2019. So when they came to me, they were extra fluffy. And by the time we sheared them this year, they were like ginormous. And Star, he was something else to look at. And last winter, he was the newest guy, so he was a bottom of the social ladder, the social hierarchy, and that crying, complaining that he was doing in yesterday's video is what he would do every day before we gave him alfalfa. And we thought maybe it was because he was the new guy, but you know what? He is shorn this year, and he is not the new guy anymore. Well, actually, no, he's the newest guy, but it's been long enough that he shouldn't be seen as the new guy. And you know, he still complains, so it's just Star. Star did come to me with some ribbons. He is registered. And I have been meaning to look up the farm that he came from. I like to know the background of my animals as best I can. I like to know their backstory. I don't like the stories where they go from farm to farm to farm and never get settled. Like I mentioned with, who was I talking about? Where it takes them a year or so on average to like settle into a new place. And so when they go from farm to farm to farm, I'm like, oh, that's not good for them. And so I like it when they've been here a while and settled in, and you know, they're a community, they're a family here. And so I appreciate that I can give them this home and this space and this safe place. Thank you for joining me today for Vlogmas 2020. I'll see you tomorrow.